Welcome live on the campus of Rowan University. It's a beautiful night for soccer here in Glassboro, New Jersey, as the Rowan's men's team is taking on the William Paterson Pioneers here on the senior day on the campus of Rowan University. Caraguno joined alongside Jack Miller. And Jack, this is a conference matchup for both of these opponents, and coming down to the wire, this Rowan Profs team, they're trying to find their spot in the New Jersey Athletic Conference, that tournament, that one-and-done tournament, to get back into a title, which we know this Profs team can. Last year, they made it to the championship, and now this year, they're trying to fight for a spot to get into the tournament itself. What does this team have to do to get this win today, especially on senior night?
Right now, they just have to keep consistent on defense. They have 3 straight shutouts on 2 wins and a draw, and they look really solid defensively. They haven't given up a goal with Aportella, and William Patterson is 4-8-2 this year. They haven't won on the road. You have to capitalize on an 0-5-1 team that is away at Rowan here. So this just has to be a crucial game. You have to capitalize to stay on that 6th seed or improve to 5 or 4.
And Rowan sits at a 7-5-4 record on the year. A lot of those ties are coming with a new NCAA rule this season. No overtime, no extra time, except for the playoffs, which could play a factor in later part of the year, of course, when the tournament coming up as well. This Profs team coming in with 1 win in a row. Lane Patterson coming off of another loss. And so far, this Profs team sits at 2-2-3 in the NJAC. Very important game. But like you said, this Pioneers team 4-8-2. And they have a 1-5-1 record in the New Jersey Athletic Conference, which puts them second to last. And the team that the Profs beat 5-0 TCNJ just a couple of nights ago is the only team that the Pioneers beat in the conference. So that is going to definitely play a factor, and especially on senior night. I think somebody we have to pinpoint is Chad Yates. The last time the two of us together were in the booth broadcasting, Yates had a hat trick.
He did.
A senior leader on this team, what is it going to take for him to get it going, or is he going to kind of lead the charge and set somebody else up? Who do you want to pinpoint today to maybe lead the charge today in this match?
I think Troiano has to be the one that has to give the passes off to Chad Yates, because he's really good with his footwork. And if he can get a lead pass off to Yates, Yates can always find a spot to put the ball into the net no matter where the goalie is. So it's going to be up to Troiano to give the passes off to Chad Yates in order for him to start getting another goal on the season so far.
And last year, these two teams did face off, and it was a 2-2 tie at the end of that contest. So also, the teams kind of want to get that last win against each other's opponents as well. And statistically wise, this Pioneers team has scored 23 goals, and the Profs have scored 26. So in that contest, they're pretty evenly matched. But the Pioneers have allowed 10 more goals than the Profs had. And you talked about it, Jack. The defense of this Profs team has looked pretty well. And Dylan Aportella leading the charge. He's seen some games in a row in the net. And how much is the defense going to play a factor? We know what this offense is capable, but can the Profs put up another clean sheet? Can they get another shutout to kind of lead them the way? How important is the defense going to be today for the Profs?
Well, it's going to be super important, because if they have really good defense and stay consistent as they have for the past 3 games, they're going to win this game. Because if they give up 0 goals, you're either going to end in a draw or a win. So it all comes down to defense in this game. And when William Patterson is hot, they're hot. But when they're cold, they're really cold. When they're hot, you can see them scoring 3+ goals. But when they're cold, you can see them scoring 1 or no goals. So Rowan just has to keep that cold streak for William Patterson going on the road, especially. And if they can just keep playing consistent defense in the backfield, they'll be okay, and they'll probably win this ball game on senior night.
We'll take a quick step off to introduce starting lineups and get our national anthem sorted out, and then we'll return back here with Rowan Soccer here on Rowan Athletics. We are back here in Glassboro, New Jersey. Caribuna alongside Jack Miller. And if you're just tuning in, it is the Profs Senior Night here in Glassboro as they are taking on the William Paterson Pioneers. So far, the Profs sit at 7-5-4, and the Pioneers sit at 4-8-2. We'll take a quick look at the starting lineups before we get things set and underway. Starting for the Pioneers, Jason Diaz, Robert Bermeo, Joshua Arguello, Anthony Doel, Johnny Gadaleta, David Moriera, Owapi Olaloco, Alfredo Rojas, and in net, Thomas Hatch, the senior, out of Kindleton, New Jersey. For the Pioneers, that'll wrap up their starting lineup. And for the Profs here, it's Alex Ferreira, Turlock Gartland, Ryan Cleary, Michael Ferrara, Gil Ferreira, Chad Yates, Davide Caputo, Aiden McGuigan, Johnny Toriano, Mason Martelloni, and in net, once again for the Profs, Dylan Apertella. And Jack, one thing that stands out to me in both of these starting lineups before we get things underway, Thomas Hatch, the senior goalkeeper for the Pioneers, he's got a lot of experience, and Dylan Apertella in net, the sophomore, and we've seen him in action, and he's done a great job for the Profs. So, you got a senior, the veteran out there, and Apertella in his first year with the Profs, he's making a name for himself and trying to lead this team to the playoffs. That could be a key factor today in this game as well. We'll see what happens here in Glassboro on the senior night.
Well, for Apertello, he's also got really good defensive backs with him. The thing with William Patterson is their defensive backs aren't the greatest when it comes to defense, and it just puts Hatch in very sticky situations sometimes, which makes them sometimes give up more than enough goals that they would want to give up. And so it all really comes back to the defensive backs for both teams to see how both these goalies can show up in this game.
We are about seconds away from getting things kicked off. The Profs in their white uniforms and the Pioneers in black with the orange stripes. And
some cool unis.
Yeah, I like them as well. I like the orange numbering as well as we are set and underway. Pioneers looking for the attack first, but it's batted down by the Profs at midfield. That's Toriano, settles it off his chest. Alex Ferrara moving quickly up ahead. And now it's batted down. This is Caputo chasing after it. Olaloco had it for a second. Last touch looks like Gadaleta. Now here's Caputo once again at midfield. Caputo trying to dance in between two defenders. And it's booted down the field as well. Martelloni, part of that crucial back line, tries to settle it. Olaloca comes in. And a late whistle there. Some really foul top of the Profs. This is going to be a free kick just yards away outside the box.
It's some good pressure from William Patterson early just to push it downfield, and now they get a free kick to see if they could potentially get something going early in this ball game.
And we talked about it. Both teams are struggling maybe to find some goals as well. Around 23 and 26 goals for teams respectively. And this is a prime opportunity only seconds after the opening kickoff here for this Pioneers team. Norera gets set. Three-man wall for the Profs. Apertella in between the sticks. Olaloco takes it, and it's diving stop from Apertella, and it's cleared away into the trees. And you saw a little bit of a deception there from the Pioneers. They had two men set up, and then Olaloco comes and swooping in, and Apertella makes a diving stop here early on.
Yeah, Martelloni was able to clear that almost to the parking lot, but into the trees. And that was honestly some really good defense. Apertella was down, so you had to clear that just to make sure that Apertella can reset and the entire defense can reset.
That's the only thing you can pretty much about do there, like you said, Jack. So it is a throw-in. A lot of guys set into the box. A header. Gartland got a piece of it. Pioneers will reset. Morera. Caputo was right on him, and here come the Profs with a takeaway. Toriano swoops in just past midfield, and Morera gets it right back. Oh, nice move there from Toriano. Tried to give a through ball to Yates, but he'll settle it back down here and play it back to this back line. Cleary plays it across. Martelloni on the far side now. 42:35 to go in this opening half. In a key and Jack battle between these two teams, Profs desperate for some wins now, sitting in that 6th spot on the cusp of the playoffs and that final spot for the playoffs in the New Jersey Athletic Conference tournament as well. We know what the Profs are capable of. It's just about clicking at the right time, and down the stretch, that's exactly what you want this Profs team to be, and high-paced offense. And it looks like they'll have a chance here. Ball sent ahead. 2 men on it. Toriano's there. Toriano! And they're going to call offside there. You see the flag go up on the far side. A good look there early on from the Profs. What'd you take away there, Jack?
I thought, I thought that was really good lead away for a breakaway for Troiano, but just a bit offsides for Troiano, and it's a turnover. So, but I mean, if he was onsides, I think he could have easily got a goal off of Hatch. So, thankfully for William Paterson's sake, that he was offsides.
Thomas Hatch, now in his 10th start, 10th game as well for the Pioneers. 28 goals allowed. Now that's a staggering number as well. 3.18 goals against average. Does have 40 saves on the year as well, but 1 win and 6 losses when he's in net for the Pioneers. And Appertella, he's kind of been thrown into the starting keeper position. He was battling time originally with Jay Kaplan and Thomas Lazicki. Kaplan still with 8 starts at the most, and Lazicki with 4. And now this is Appertella's 5th start on the year as well. So he hasn't really been tested too much. Made a diving stop a few moments ago. Props in there attacking third now. Ball sent in on the far side of the box. Batted down for a second and cleared away by the Pioneers. Still in control, yet Chad Yates on the far side. Gartland, the chip in ahead. Ball inching towards the box, and it's sent out of play.
It's a great setup, just better defense from the Pioneers. I mean, they could have definitely put another move on and gotten a shot on goal, but just better defense from the Pioneers.
Now we see a throw in on the far side. Gartland dumps it back out. Gartland again on a line. Caputo tried to swoop in. And now the props will play it back. Ryan Cleary. Now here's Gartland. Got some room to work with. Plays it off to the right. High ball
Cross.
sent.
No one there.
For a second there, he thought maybe a prof would come swooping in, but the Pioneers get it away. And it goes right back to Rowan. Michael Ferrara. Now there's brother Alex across to Gartland. Tried to feed it in Troiano.
Trying to find something, they can't.
Ferrara again will settle. Alex Ferrara. He'll play it back to Ryan Cleary. There's a lot of traffic just outside the box. Pioneers are swarming in. A ball sent on the far side, trickling in.
Ooh.
Gil Ferreira tried to swoop in. And another player, Gil Ferreira, is somebody who seems to be getting hot. Had a couple of first assists a couple days ago, then had goals on the year, and he's been really unselfish player as well. He's done a good job, especially last couple of stretches for this props team.
Yeah, and he's just had a lot of grit and hustle as well. I mean, as you see, the ball was trickling away out of bounds, and he was hustling for it. He probably knew that it could have most likely gone out of bounds, but he's like, I gotta at least try and save this. And he's just been a great player for the props, and that's one of the reasons, honestly, why they have a above 500 record.
Ferreira again right on cue at midfield. Tries to play it on a bounce to Michael Ferrara. It's intercepted by the Pioneers. This is Morera. He turns and dumps it off, but Chad Yates is there to break it up.
Another reset. As you mentioned, there's just a lot of traffic, and Rowan they're passing well. They just can't find an opening right now.
Caputo. Caputo plays it off. Yates. Yates with the move. Now on the right side, Yates. Bouncing ball there, and the passes haven't really been on target so far for the props. A lot of interceptions, and we see a lot of traffic early on here, crowding just outside the box. This Pioneers team knows that the props, they're one to rifle off shots. If they see just a margin of room, they're going to fire off and really make it work. So now we can see the defense has just really been contesting outside the box here early on. On the far side for the Pioneers, 37:50 to go in this first half. No score yet. Not too much action either. One shot for the Pioneers. That free kick just a minute into the game. Other than that, nobody really has any good looks as well. Far side for the props, 1-2. Alex Ferrara had it taken away. There's the slide tackle. Props still swooping in. This is McGuigan. Fighting for it. There's no whistle. Play will continue. And now the back line for the Pioneers will reset.
As I mentioned, the defensive backs haven't played too great for William Paterson, the Pioneers this year. So right now they're actually doing a very solid job at doing their job, and it's one of the like Rowan's just getting crowded every time. Every time they're on the William Patterson's goal side, it's just they can't find any openings, and the defensive backs are just playing really well. And now they're trying to make a push right now with their offense.
Anthony Knoll gets taken down. Looks like a foul would be called at on Caputo there. Just a yard or two in front of midfield. Now 36:30 to go. We'll have a stoppage of time for a second. Looks like Bermejo on the far side for the Pioneers was down for a moment, but seems to be all right as well. But Jack, so far the profs, nothing really on the offensive side. We haven't seen really much from them. It seems like a lot of unselfish play, which we like to see. A lot of give and goes are trying to work here early on, but they're not really testing Hatch, who has allowed around 3 goals a game that when he's in the net. And compared to Apertella, who's playing really good so far, but if you're the props, you want to test that keeper. You want to test them early to get that lead and get that momentum, which we know this team, once they have the momentum, they're usually able to build off of it. It's just a matter of when they can first break through. But, of course, opening minutes, a lot of soccer left to go, but they're going to be tested, looks like, right here on this free kick. Ball gets booted into the box, headed down twice, and there's the punch away just outside the box. Now Morera, and it's taken away. There's a nice spin move and chip ahead from Alex Ferreira, right on cue to Johnny Toriano. Toriano's all by himself trying to break free, and he'll be wiped away once again.
Trying to get something going, and they're trying to get the ball back on pretty much on William Patterson's side. They're gonna take it on the other side of the field, and I think they're gonna try and get something going. Look for a smaller hole than the big holes that they've been trying to look for. Here we go.
Gil Ferreira into the box. There's a crossing from Toriano. The strike, and it goes top corner, but just wide. You love that play there. The cross in ahead, and then Ferreira comes swooping in right down the line, and goes unselfishly. Toriano on target. Broke down that back line there, just a couple feet away from making it a 1-goal game here early on, but now we can see the profs are trying to feed it to Toriano up top, and I think that's a key factor for this profs team as well.
Exactly, and they found the hole that they wanted. They put it in the top right corner, and then Toriano tried to put the ball into the top right corner, and they didn't get it. But I mean, those were 2 big holes that they found, and they executed on. It was just a bit off target for Toriano. So I think that they might try and go back to that later on in this game to see if they can execute on that play, but with an on-target shot from Toriano.
Toriano, this is his 8th start for the profs. He's got 3 goals on the year, 3 assists as well, and he's very on target with his shots. That's only his 31st shot in the year, and 15 shots have gone goal. So around 50% from on target. So Toriano, when he's missing, he's not missing by much. So that was right, executed perfectly on cue. But now the Pioneers will try to rattle off a shot of their own, and then a whistle gets blown. And a couple of fouls here early on against the profs. Their 3rd foul and 3rd free kick. This one's just a little bit closer than their last one was just moments ago. And now they have ability again to be tested, but so far I've only rattled off 1 shot. It has been on target, of course. Apertella with 1 save.
Yeah, a lot of just hands flying around everywhere for the profs, but they just result in free kicks, nothing crazy. So, and they've been able to get the ball out of the box once it enters. So I don't think they're really that worried right now. So I think here we go.
Long ball sent ahead, headed out by Cleary. Alex Ferrar giving chase there. And for this Pioneers team, around 10.4 shots per game, and the profs average around 14.8. So already the differential between those 2 teams could be a huge factor here in this match. But so far, neither team has had a ton going in the opening minutes. A throw in, headed down on a line. Toriano's there to have a piece of it. Now Toriano couldn't settle, and the ball gets flicked high into the air. Cleary swoops in, and the profs will send that one. It will go out of play.
William Patterson's.
Again, back-to-back throw-ins. Couldn't do anything on the last one. But the profs, they have kind of their bigger guys. Gartland in the box as well. Cleary with a height advantage, 6'2". And
great snag.
Apatella already. He seems very confident in that box jack.
He
I,
does.
I think the more that he's played, the more he's found his groove with this props team, which is to be expected. And as well, he probably got those little bit of anticipation, a little nerves the first couple of starts. And now for this props team, he's really, really made a name for himself as a props player went down.
He's staying down. He doesn't want to get up. I think that's Cleary, I think. I could be wrong. No, I am wrong.
That was Ferreira.
Yeah, it was for
He seems to be all right, but
Mhm.
as a result of that, the props will get a free kick, a chance of their own to nail one home here. Ferreira sends it in. Near side post, and swooping in is Hatch. And Hatch looks like he got taken down. I think Gartland got in the mix there. Hatch went flying, but either way, he made the grab.
Yeah, back-to-back American football-looking catches from the goalies. I mean, these guys have really good hands and can get up there when they need to.
Apatella sitting at 5'10", and Hatch 6'3". On a line, Martelloni's there for the header. A good settle from Rojas.
What's good with Hatch is that he's a bigger guy, so he can use his weight to his advantage and try and move people out of the way if he needs to get somewhere.
Ball loose on the far side. Props trying to clear it out again, and they send it out of play, so it'll be a throw-in for this Pioneers team as well. Once again, on the pregame, we talked about how the Pioneers struggling in the conference, Jack. I mean, they sit second to last, overall number 9. Only have 4 conference points. That's because of the 1 tie and the 1 win. And the win coming against TCNJ, who the Profs just completely dominated in their last game, 5-0. So if the Profs can cap off that last NJAC game against TCNJ 5-0, you got to think that they're going to be putting moves on here again and are hoping for another strong offensive performance. That's one of the best games that the Profs have had all season long.
Yeah, William Paterson only had 3 shots against Montclair State. One of them went in, thankfully for them. And I mean, they just don't look. They don't look that sharp offensively, and they don't like to. They don't put a lot of pressure on the other side of the field. And when that happens, you're going to give up goals on the other end, which is why they lost 4-1 against Montclair State. But we'll see what they can do here. And Rowan's just been on a tear, both offensively and defensively. So they just got to keep it up, and they just got to capitalize on a poorly playing NJAC opponent.
A foul there. A Pioneer goes down after the slide tackle with under 30 minutes to go in this opening half. The other team the Pioneers tied with is Kane as well. So it will be a free kick for the Pioneers just at the halfway mark. Also, the Profs also tied with Kane 2-2. So again, some similarities and some huge differences between these two teams. We'll see what comes as a result of this game as well, as it's headed down again by Gartland, or Cleary, excuse me, as it's sent all the way down. There'll be a goal kick for Apatella now.
Almost hit the running car coming down the street.
Oh, it's got to
It
be
was
ready.
on target, but could have cost William Paterson a windshield right there.
I wonder if you have like soccer insurance or something, something on
Soccer
that.
car insurance.
Right, you gotta always be prepared here.
Yeah.
It's been a busy day in Glassboro, homecoming,
Yeah.
football game as well. Women's team was on the road against William Paterson.
Yeah, a lot of Rowan teams playing today on for Rowan
Field
homecoming.
hockey as
Yeah.
well. They got their win. They secured the NJAC title during the regular
Yes.
season #1 spot. Women's team again looking to get their #1 spot in the conference as well. Now it's up to the men team to try to see if they're going to make it into the conference. There's
Not a good kick from Hatch right there.
very high, but
Yeah.
didn't get very far.
Exactly.
Alex Ferrara plays it out to the right. On the far side, Profs look to reset. McGuigan right back to Ferrara. Now Gartland wide open. Gartland with the right foot taps it ahead. Caputo's there. Caputo now turning, looking to attack on this left side here. Caputo tries to punch it through, and again it's cleared out. Martelloni will reset, and he'll play it across, move from right to left. This is Cleary. with the line drive on a bounce. Toriano just barely escapes out of play. And you like that approach from the props. Very patient, trying to find the holes, but again, nothing too far. This props team, they're passing maybe a little bit clean. You gotta clean that up just a little bit more, but other than that, props are trying to find the space. You like that patience here early on, especially against this William Paterson team, who right now don't really have a shot at making the playoffs. So the props team, they need this win more than anything, and they need to get those goals and build off that momentum.
Yeah, with the offense right now, they're, as you mentioned, just being patient, and they just have complete control of the ball, and they're just trying to get anything that they can. Here comes Caputo.
Dumps it off to Chad Yates. Yates with the left foot, he takes a hack, and what a save from Hatch. You love that unselfish play. Caputo quickly out. Toriano gets in the mix. The dump off to Yates, who was wide open there. Nobody marked him up, and he rifled one into the top corner. And Hatch, just came swooping in. And now it's going to be a corner here for the props. The first of the game, a real chance for them to score. Near side post, the header from Ferreira. Again, Hatch is there. Props will reset if they can get possession back, and they do. Now outside the box, a line drive again. Cleary gets tripped up. Michael Ferreira. Outside, Toriano just outside the box. Toriano, curving shot, Yates, and just outside. Once again, this props team very unselfish here. They're playing for each other. That's evident so far. And Chad Yates and Toriano and even Ferreira, they've had some good looks here early on.
Yeah, I mean, both of them are trying to show off on senior night. But, yeah, Yates was just a step behind. And I feel like if he tried to predict that ball to go where it was supposed to go, I think he could have made maybe potentially play of the year by that prediction and could have had a goal early on in this William Paterson game.
Caputo's also playing very strong as well, along with Gartland right on cue. Trying to feed it into Toriano up top. For the props, though, they're seniors. Got to give them a lot of credit for what they've done to this program. Caputo leads the charge. Here's a give and go. Toriano trying to split in between a couple of defenders, and it's wiped out. Gartland, he's going to have to play it to the back line now. Cleary. Michael Ferrara. Now to Alex. Back to Michael Ferrara.
I think it's really cool that both the Ferrara brothers are playing today in the starting lineup for once.
It doesn't get much better than that with your twin brother out
Yeah.
there as well. I know I'm a twin, so
Yeah.
I would love to play there.
Yeah, but they look exactly alike.
That's very true.
You and your sister have very similar features, but they're legit copy and paste on the field.
Could you imagine, an assist and a goal from them too? There's twin sisters on the women's soccer team, Juliana, and Olivia Giordano as well, who one plays defense and one plays offense, the props team, and they're a dynamic duo as well. So it's been evident on both teams and trying to get it done. Those two are seniors, Alex and Michael, along with Jake Logard, Chad Yates, Luke Yates, and Mark McStay. Here's Gil Ferreira, the cross, and it's wiped out. There's a deflection, and they're going to say last touch by the props. It's going to be a throw-in for the Pioneers. Alex Ferrara. Now to Gartland. Gartland tried to play the through ball to Toriano, and they're going to say a foul on Alex Ferrara. I'm not too happy with that call there.
No, I'm not a big fan of that call either. Yeah, I mean, that was just a rough foul. I mean, there's nothing else to say about that. That was just a rough foul.
And there's 24 to go. Moreira, slide tackle there from Gartland, and he's met with another slide tackle there. Martelloni's got a foot on it and just has to play it out. That rifle just ricocheted right out of play there. Last couple of minutes or so, Jack, the props did have it in their own offensive third, but now they're going to have to play some defense again and try to clear it out. They haven't been tested too much. Nothing, outrageous at Appertell that he obviously can't handle. But the props do want to go into halftime maybe with a lead. You want to have at least one goal lead on this team and then build that momentum and keep firing off shots. But for the profs, you got to find a chance to get on target and not have to play defense so much and worry about the other team trying to score first.
Yeah, with William Paterson, they're just having quick offensive possessions. They're trying to get stuff on throw-ins, on corners, and stuff like that. with Rowan, they're just taking their time. They just they just keep passing the ball back and forth, trying to look for a hole. And if they keep playing like this, I mean, ball control is going to win you a game because if you have the ball more, I mean, that just gives you more opportunities. So Rowan just has to keep the pace at this, but William Patterson's got to just change their pace in a way, just because they need to have more control of the ball in order to win this game.
Ferrara to Caputo. Caputo's got 2 men on him, splits a pair there. Caputo leading the charge. He'll dump it off to Johnny Toriano. Toriano looking for the cross towards the back post, headed for a second. Yates trying to swoop in. Again, a good player. Alex Ferrara will rifle off a shot. Misses high and upstairs, almost into the softball field here.
Got into the stands of the softball.
You gotta watch out again.
Yeah.
But once again, I mean, Jack, what do you think of that setup, that design? I mean, it seems like the props are just unselfish, looking for each other there. Doesn't go on cue. But again, that unselfish play, you gotta think maybe in a couple minutes or so it might slip through.
Well, the thing with that was great offense. It was just better defense from William Patterson because the backs, they collapsed on Yates, double teamed him, and I don't know if you saw, but Yates tried to go for a bicycle on that as it was lobbed in the air, trying to go from behind him. So the fact that he was double teamed didn't make him able to pull off that bicycle kick attempt. So it was just better defense from the Pioneers on that one.
Armando Santana also in the game for Johnny Toriano, so we'll see how that much plays a factor. Santana has also been heating up for the profs as well, especially as of late. We've seen a lot of strong soccer from him.
From the
Pioneers look to counter, inching towards the box. And again, a stop there from the profs. Way up ahead, Santana speeding down the field. Santana just outside the box. Santana dancing out, and he's gonna get taken down again. And a foul's gonna be called.
He did fall hard off the leg of the defender, so that's a valid foul.
Santana coming in right off the bench and already looking to make a difference here, Jack. And props, as a result of that, will have a free kick on the side of the box. Maybe you could try to rifle one here in a line drive, send it up, set up for a header. You know, you could have somebody like Yates sneak in the back post. There's a lot of ways you can go here on this play for the profs. Not the best angle, but Hatch, we've seen him make a couple stops here early on. He's got 2 saves so far and 3 shots faced.
Yeah, they just got it. This is one of the crucial plays on offense that they got to capitalize on. Try and get a cross going. Try and sneak it in the net. Get the lead going. Get some goals scored.
Ferreira sends it in towards the back post, and nobody's there.
Unfortunate.
A misplay there from props. You would have loved to see at least a shot on target there, at least try to get something going. But
exactly.
Once again, nothing results of that play. So Hatch not tested too much.
That was just very fortunate for the Pioneers, just because it was an overcross across everyone, over everyone, and Hatch didn't have to do anything either. So if you put pressure on Hatch, I mean, as we saw from past games, the Pioneers can give up a lot of goals.
Delvin and Ketia comes in the game for Arguello. Caputo right at midfield. Dumps it off to Ferrara. Back to Caputo. Caputo makes a nice move and looking for some room here. Goes around midfield. Santana, he spins outside the box. And there's the takeaway. But Cleary gets it right back. Michael Ferrara trying to shift the offense here for the props. Ferrara, now to Caputo. Alex Ferrara with the right foot across. Now to brother Michael. Michael with the cross in. And it's cleared out of play.
A corner for Rowan.
And there we go again, Jack. You see some patience from the props, and it works to perfection right there. They get those passes in, and the defense, they have to clear it out there. You don't want to get the ball inside the box and give a good look. So instead, they clear it out. It's going to be a corner. Props go the short route. Caputo, Ferrara on a line. And it's cleared for just a moment before Yates comes swooping in. Yates, one of the captains of the team, plays it far out wide for Gil Ferreira. Ferreira had trouble settling it down, but props will get a chance, or the Pioneers, I say, will get a chance on the opposite end.
Yeah, that was just another missed opportunity right there. They had a chance to cross it across the field, and and he just misplaced his foot. So it'll be Pioneers ball again. They'll try and put more pressure on, but that's just one of those situations that you got to capitalize on.
17:45 to go in this opening half here in Glassboro, New Jersey, on the Profs' senior day. Only 3 shots, 2 of which have been on target. Gartland, Yates, and Toriano, the 3 players of the Profs who do have some shots taken. And the keeper for the Pioneers, in Thomas Hatch, a senior as well. He's made 2 saves in 3 shots faced so far. And as the season is winding down for both teams, they want to win these next couple of games. The last game of the regular season is on Wednesday. It will be a doubleheader here in Glassboro. Both the men's and women's teams will play one right after each other against Stockton. Wednesday, here's Ferreira, tried to send it in. Santana, and then Yates chases it down, but out of play. Both players try not to get the offside call there. But again, Jack, as the season's winding down, and you have one more regular season game to go, it, of course, is a conference opponent. Last couple of games, in fact, a majority of the regulars, September 20th was the last time the Profs didn't face a conference opponent. They were kind of shaping up for the conference because this New Jersey Athletic Conference, it's a very, very tough conference. It's hard to get that #1 spot. You've got a lot of really good teams. Kane as well is a really good team who made it to the finals last year. Struggled a little bit this year. TCNJ on the women's side is very good. On the men's side, the last place like we've talked about before. But Montclair State, they clinched the #1 spot in the conference a couple days ago. Number 13 in Division III soccer. So again, some very, very good teams in the conference that Profs are definitely trying to beat. Here's the 1-2. Ferrara tries to keep it in play, and he does. Pioneers will clear it. Olaloco here on the near side. Olaloco splits a pair. Yates gets a touch. Morera now. And now the Pioneers will go the opposite direction. Great takeaway there, Ari Barreto. Barreto leading the charge. Barreto gets taken down. No foul there. Pioneers go down there and still no call.
Just letting them play. Let them play.
The Fryer brothers now dump it off to Cleary. Martelloni on the opposite side. Cleary and Martelloni have also been key factors of the back line, like you talked about, Jack. They've done a really good job on this as well as trying to lead chance for the offense. This is Jake Logar who gets tripped up. No call. Looks like a Pioneers player is down. No stoppage yet. Davi Caputo. Caputo flicks it in. This is Cleary with the left foot. There's a strike, and it goes way out of play.
Olaloco is down. He got up and is now down again. He had a slight limp, and he could not he tried to do that pretty much. He was trying to just stay on his feet, but he couldn't, and he had to go down again. But no one's going to help him off the field. Very interesting move from William Paterson, as Olaloco is definitely going to have to be out of this game.
May take a few seconds on the breather there, but we also did have some more substitutions. So Gartland comes out, Jake Logar comes in, another senior captain, co-captain along with Chad Yates. Aiden McGuigan comes out. Ari Barreto, we've already seen him. He comes back in. Gil Ferreira is out, and Ryan Barnes, he comes in. And Alfredo Gonzalez is back in for Olaloco. So there's a slew of subs for both sides now with 14:05 to go in this opening half. Now they'll play it back to Hatch. There's a challenge there from Santana, but nobody's home, and now Profs have a chance to set things up at midfield. Alex Farrar trying to send it ahead to Ryan Barnes. Alex Farrar settles it again. Ferrara just outside the box. He'll play it back to Barreto. Barreto now to the defense. Martelloni will change directions. Ryan Cleary's all by himself. Apatello's also outside the box. Martelloni. Again trying to play it through to Yates.
Ooh.
Prof gets taken down now. 2 players go down. Looks like that was Logar. Pioneers player not too happy.
I heard that from here.
Yeah, that was...
Through the headphones and everything. Pierced my ears a little bit.
2 fouls on the Pioneers, 6 fouls on the Profs so far.
Thankfully, it wasn't something we couldn't say on air.
On the free kick, the line just goes right to the Pioneers again. Still in the box. Michael Ferraro will play it back.
Here we go,
This is
reset again.
Logar. Logar is the one who went down on that play. Logar now to Martelloni. Martelloni. Caputo with a nice play, but it gives it right up to the Pioneers, though Martelloni is there to get it back. Neither team with the best passing so far. Defense leading the way. This is Santana. Now to Logar, the touch to Barnes. On the far side, Barreto. Logar, Martelloni. A couple of bounces to Cleary. Here's Cleary once again. The left to Caputo. Good defense so far for the Pioneers. Caputo tried to flick it ahead.
Yeah, it was
For,
a clear shove in the back. It's actually going to be, I think, that's William Paterson's actually. Wow. I thought there was a shove from one of the William Paterson players that was going to be a turnover or stay Rowan's ball in that one.
And again, talking about the schedule left, the only opponent left for the Pioneers team is Ramapo. And Ramapo as well. They are the 2nd team in the conference so far. So Montclair State, Ramapo, number 1 and 2. Rutgers Camden, Rutgers Newark after that. NJCU, who beat the Profs 6-0. And then after that is Rowan, Keene, Stockton, William Paterson, and TCNJ. Those are the standings for the conference so far. As well, the Profs trying to get 3 more conference points. They sit right now at 9. Would propel them up to 12 if they got another win here.
William Paterson only with 4. So Rowan's definitely just need to try and get up in the rankings right now. And if they do, they'll be above NJCU.
A good stop and a clear out by the Prof Santana. And they're going to say he pushed off. They might have grabbed another player's arm on that call. But if not, Santana would have been off to the races and a chance with a good look. It'll be a foul. A lot of fouls early on. 10 minutes and 5 seconds to go. And still, there has not been a ton of offensive action. We've seen the Profs a much more patient approach. It seems like William Paterson's been kind of a one and done. A lot of fast break, couple of looks, and some free kicks just outside the box. And Apatella saying that a Pioneer was the last to get a piece of it, so it'll be a goal kick for him.
Substitutions will come in. Luke Yates comes in.
Luke Yates comes back in again, one of the seniors. I haven't seen him in a very, very long time. Was battling with injuries, so good to see him back for the Profs.
Yep.
He's a pivotal player of this team, Jack. One of the leaders on this team. He has a ton of experience, and his defense. He's one of those players who you could utilize both on the defensive end and the offensive end. So, Profs are very happy to have a key piece like him back. Here's Yates, just outside the box. Yates with the right foot now, tries with the left, the bouncer, and Hatch is there. Yates with some key looks here, but nothing to show for it just yet.
They just got to keep applying pressure on Hatch because that's the only way they're going to win this game. If you keep putting pressure on him, he's going to eventually make a mistake here and there. So they just got to keep the ball on William Paterson's side and just try and attack Thomas Hatch in the goal.
And Yates, once again, a very key player for this Profs team. Last time he scored was here in Glassboro on the 12th. He did have that hat trick like we were talking about before, but hasn't scored since then. Hasn't scored in about 2 games so far against Redpo and TCNJ. Didn't get anything going. Did have an assist, though, against TCNJ. But that Rutgers-Canton game was the best for Yates. A chance into the box. Great stop from Cleary. Alex Ferrara. Now to Barreto. Back to Ferrara here. 8:05 to go in this first half. Santana by himself.
Go out. That'll be William Paterson's. Some William Paterson substitutions on the throw-in.
7:40 left in this first half. Gadaleta comes out. Lopez comes in for the Pioneers. This is Yates. Flicks it to Santana. Santana racing. Here's Yates. Yates with a strike. And does not go in. Just out wide. It got the net of the near side post. Some fans might have thought that one sneaked through there, but
I think it was all because the net moved.
Yep.
Because everyone's like, "Oh, the net moves. That means it's in." But
couple people
it hit on the side of the net, the side of the netting that is not a goal. So Yates almost there, but just a little bit off target.
Yates leading the way with 3 shots, 2 of which have been on target. So you got to think Yates, you want to get him the ball. He's been kind of the hottest player for the Profs throughout the entirety of the season. He does lead them in goals with 8 goals. So you want to feed that hot hand. You want to get him going. But nothing to show for it yet as well. But a whistle blown there. Again, Jack, I mean, Chad Yates, he's such a difference maker on this props team. He's somebody as a captain, as a leader. He's been here with this props team. He leads them offensively as well. He does have 8 goals, 5 assists as well. So again, unselfish player. Just a matter of maybe when he can net one through. But 6:15 to go in this opening half.
Yeah, he's just a great, as you mentioned, just a great player all around, especially on the offensive side. As you mentioned, 8 goals, 5 assists, and he just knows how to change the ball game with his skills on the pitch. So he's just gotta continue that on senior night, and that'll win them this game. It all just depends on how Chad Yates does.
Couple of headers now, batted around.
Ref gets nutmegged.
Caputo slipping in Ferrara there. That was Gonzalez, Alfredo Gonzalez, the senior midfielder out of Hillsborough. He goes falling down there. Now it'll be another free kick. Morera takes some time here. 5:15 to go. A lot of the players in the box for both squads. Morera. Nobody's there. Yates swooping in.
Good block. That was great. That's the hustle that Yates brings right there, and just able to block it out of bounds. I mean, that's just all you could ask for from a possession like that off the free kick on the side.
Pioneer trying to go again. There's the 1-2. Towards the far side, a great slide tackle there from the Profs. They get shoved to the ground. That's Martelloni on the far side. Again, he's just been a pivotal player of this back line for the Profs team. Makes a great stop there. The junior midfielder. Again, Yates by himself. Santana trying to head it down. This is Luke Yates. Caputo on the far side looking for the cross. Santana. And it's going to be a corner, though, for the Profs. This is their 3rd corner so far with 3:45 to go. Mark McStay back. He's into the game for the Profs, one of the other seniors. He comes into the game for Jake Logar, another senior. On the corner, towards the near side post, the header flicked. Luke Yates is there to keep it in play. McStay now. McStay is through 2 defenders. Feeds it to Santana. Now to Yates again. Yates curves it in towards the back post. The header, Caputo's there, and it's cleared away. You could hear the oohs and the ahs there from the crowd. That was a close look there. The beauty of the send-in, curved perfectly. Now here's a chance for the Pioneers. Try to retaliate here. Good stop from Cleary. Crossing on the line. Inside the box, curving. Apertella makes a reaching grab. Apertella really using his length there to get all of that ball. Even though there weren't really any Pioneers towards the backside of the post, Apertella, he's got to do everything he can there, makes his first save.
Yeah, I mean, that was honestly very risky, but thankfully he made the play, because if he misses that diving play, there's not a defender behind him, and that could have been an easy goal for the Pioneers. So thankfully he, as you said, used his length to his advantage and was able to get his first save of tonight's game.
Ferrara on the near side. To Michael Ferrara. Ferrara. Beauty of a pass there to Caputo. Caputo. Right again, try to play it to Yates. Alex Ferrara. Again, settle it down to the defense. Under 2 minutes to go in this opening half. Martelloni on a line. There's a touch to Yates, and what a stop there from Anthony Knoll, the senior back. That's a veteran move there on the defensive end. I mean, when your keeper's swooping in, Yates swooping in, you got to clear it out. Good look there from the profs.
Yeah, Knoll was just able to get his left foot in there and just kick it away, and I mean, that's just great veteran defense from William Paterson right there. So that's just all they could ask for right there, and they got to, and Rowan's got to capitalize on this opportunity right now. Here we go.
On the line to Yates, header, and there it is. Chad Yates with his 9th goal of the year. And that gives the Profs the 1-0 lead here on Senior Day.
Look at that, hugging his family on the sidelines. Great goal. Great opportunity there, taking advantage of that. 1-0 Profs as the half is twinkling down on the final minute.
Luke Yates in on the mix, his 4th assist of the year, and Chad Yates. There he goes again. We talked about it. He hadn't scored in a couple of games, Jack. Maybe you kind of alluded to it in the pregame, and maybe it's when the two of us are on the broadcast together. He gets it going. The last time he was able to score, he had a hat trick. So, again, that's got to be some momentum for the Profs. Just when you thought they maybe wouldn't score at the end of the first half, and there's Yates just over a minute.
Down to 50 seconds. Patterson's got to do something. Or Rowan tacks on another goal. Here we go.
Caputo again. There's Yates. And it's going to be offside. Yates again. Woo, he had another good look there, Jack.
It's a good look, but it's a good look when you're offside. So,
right.
But, yeah, he could have had that there, but just a bit offsides. And it'll be William Patterson's with 25 seconds left in this first half. So if they can get something right here, potentially, I mean, that's great for William Paterson to tie it.
For William Paterson, just when you thought you were kind of coasting through the half, not allowing his Profs team who's kind of coming in high with a goal, when you could have them at the half only, they thought would be scoreless, you got to think that's going to be a high note. But instead, the Profs, with just over a minute to go, Yates rattles one home for the score. And that will wrap things up at the end of the first half. It's a 1-0 lead for Chad Yates and the rest of this Profs team. He was leading the way with the shots on target, 4 of which, and finally 1 found the back of the net. They're going to put 8 seconds left on the board with a foul, though. So we'll see if this kind of bites the Profs here. A free kick towards the far side. Once again, 8 seconds on the clock. A high line drive, and Apertella is there to make the stop at the official end of the first half. Once again, A 1-0 lead for the Profs. Yates, of course, with the goal, his 9th of the year for the Profs. And once again, Jack, this William Paterson team, they thought for a second they were kind of going neck and neck with the Profs, but Profs have 6 shots compared to the 1 for William Paterson. And when this Profs team is on fire, they're pretty hard to beat. It's just a matter of when they can finally settle things up and get it going. But now, how big do you think that was, that initial goal for this Profs team?
That first goal was crucial right there because they took advantage of Notch moving, and Chad Yates was able to put the ball into the net. So it's crucial in any game when you're up 1 goal, in any soccer game, 1-0 at the end of the half. And the fact that they were able to do that with a minute remaining, I mean, now they have more momentum going in the second half, and it should give them all the momentum for the rest of the game.
Profs currently sitting at the 6th spot in the New Jersey Athletic Conference, looking for these conference points again to propel them into an official playoff spot for the play-in tournament that's coming up in just a few days. But at the end of the first half, it's a 1-0 game, 1 goal scored by Chad Yates in favor of the Profs here on Rowan's senior night. Caraguno alongside Jack Miller, around 14 minutes to go, and we'll be back here for the second half of this Rowan's men's soccer game here on Rowan Athletics. We are back on the campus of Rowan University. Caragino alongside Jack Miller. Thanks for tuning in on Rowan Athletics. We are just moments away from getting the second half underway on the Rowan Senior Night. Men's soccer action as they are taking on the William Paterson Pioneers. And if you're once again just tuning in, the Rowan Profs have a 1-0 lead over the Pioneers. Chad Yates put on a show, Jack, in that first half. He led the way with 4 shots, 3 of which were on target. Chad Yates, and one of the seniors on the team, one of the captains, co-captains on the team, he's just proven again why he's the Profs' leading scorer now with 9 on the years. It was a huge goal in the first half, but maybe in the second half the Profs want to see who else they can get involved here and really extend on their lead.
Yeah, he's just proven that he's like one of the leaders on this team. I mean, he's captain of this Rowan Profs men's soccer team. So he's just, every time he has an impact on the game, it always goes in the favor of the Profs. So he scored a goal first time since his hat trick game that we called here together on Rowan Athletics. So most likely the Profs will ride with Yates' momentum and continue with the momentum going into the second half as they lead 1-0 against the Pioneers.
Profs controlling the kickoff in the second half, and now Yates officially tied with Amir Lukovic of Montclair State for second in the conference. They're behind Franco Catania, who leads the way with 14. So Chad Yates now also moves up to the second spot of conference leader goals. So he's again proving his worth. Gil Ferreira on the near side. The left foot strike towards the back post. Headed down. Toriano's there again. And they're going to say offside. So moments again early on. We just got underway. And Profs are looking to put on the pressure. You got to think that head coach Scott Baker in his 8th season just told his Profs team, put on the pressure, attack here early, solidify this victory. Because the Profs team, they need this win more than ever. 2 games left, and 1 game today, and then against Stockton on Wednesday. And that rounds out the regular season. So and now more than ever, only 6 teams qualify for the conference tournament. And the Profs sit at the 6th spot right now, so they cannot afford to lose a game. The tie would only give them 1 conference point. They need the 3 here tonight and have a 1-0 lead, but you never know what could happen in the end, Jack. And even with this William Paterson team who has been struggling, you never know what could happen. So the Profs, you think for them, they're trying to get a second goal here early and really assert their dominance.
Yeah, when you have a 2-goal lead in soccer, it's just, or a 2 score game in any sport, it's just a huge boost of confidence just to and it's more safety on the offense. So they just got to put one in here now, and once they do that, I mean, Rowan will be very comfortable and it'll be an easy way just to get them the 2 conference points that they need to go up in the rankings.
Profs now with 6 shots on the day, 7 after the last shot attempt. Only 1 shot by the Pioneers, and that's a staggering mark as well. And that team, they average around 10 shots, Profs just under 15. So both teams, Rowan now probably just on cue around their shots, especially per half. But the Pioneers struggling immensely to get anything going on the offensive end. The defense was holding strong, but Chad Yates scored with around 1 minute and 8 seconds to go in the opening half. So just when the Pioneers kind of thought they were almost coasting through with a 0-0 game at the end of the first, Chad Yates changed that tide immensely. And now the Profs can reset here, especially on their senior night. Want to get a huge victory that means a lot for them conference-wise, their senior-wise. Thank you to all of them who have really helped out this program and its success throughout the entirety of their time here.
Exactly, especially in the success they had in the 2019 season, the 2020 canceled season, and the 2021 regular season that they had as well. All great seasons for this Rowan soccer team.
This Profs team was 13-4-2 last year. Like you mentioned, Jack, they were very, very good last season. They lost to Kane in the New Jersey Athletic Conference Championship in penalty kicks. So did go down to the wire overtime again, and then those penalty kicks where they lost. And then they made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament. They lost to Christopher Newport, a very good team in all of Division III athletics. And then now they're struggling to even try to get in to the tournament. This is Gartland. Toriano had it for a second, and then it settled. And Martelloni with the big boot down the field. Yates with the touch.
Here we go.
Caputo off the crossbar. Ferreira now into the box. Toriano again flicks it through. Caputo again is there. Now here's Martelloni. Caputo just narrowly missing there. Curving ball, tries to get it to Toriano. This is Alex Ferrara on the far side. Ferrara plays it all the way back on the opposite side now. Again, now to Alex Ferrara with about 40 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Across to Gartland, but he can't meet the pass. Pioneers looking to counter here. Profs defense looks to regroup there. This is McGuigan on the near side now. McGuigan gets tied up for a second. Gil Ferreira, he gets tripped up. And there looks like a foul will be called on Delvin Nikita. Now it'll be a free kick. It looks like they're actually going to call a foul on the prof, so.
Wow.
And
it's a little interesting right there.
You can hear the boos from the crowd now. Very happy with that call. Eric Gonzalez, along with Morera. Morera towards the back post, curves a little bit. Here's a shot, and Apertalo's got a hand on it. Still in the air, that was a close call there. The closest we've seen the Pioneers. Some chaos there, and the Profs take it away. Toriano on the counter.
Here we go.
Luke Yates rifles it into Chad Yates. Yates with the left foot, there's a deflection. Yates was looking for the call.
That'll be a foul inside the box. So it'll be a penalty kick for Chad Yates. Here we go.
And the last time Yates got the scoring started on his hat trick, in fact, it was a penalty kick. And it's going to be a penalty kick on the year. Yates so far on the year 2 for 3 in penalty kicks.
Yates was looking at the ref immediately after he shot that ball. He was like, where's my foul? And he got it. So there'll be some discussion here. It looks like PK for Yates.
So far, the Profs are 2 for 3 on the year. Chad Yates, the typical man to take it for the Profs. They have a 1-0 lead. And Yates looking to extend on that here on senior day. Yates gets set. Thomas Hatch, the keeper, gets ready as well. Yates gets set. Yates winds up and rifles it in. Top corner, the captain here on senior day has got 2 goals for the Profs. And they extend their lead early on in the second half.
That's what happens with these defensive back mistakes that William Paterson makes. They're just going to end up in PKs or just some messy goals for the Profs, and that's just the situations they've been in all year. And that's the result you're going to get, especially with a guy like Chad Yates kicking the penalty kicks.
Yates, double-digit goals. How about that, Jack? 10 on the year. He's climbing the ladder to try to chase that #1 spot in the conference. Yeah, Yates last year all NJAC's second team. He has making a case for a first team this year and has led the Profs offensively. And now you got to think that they're going to be firing on all cylinders now. 2-0 lead, around just under 39 minutes to go. So you got to think that the Profs are riding high pretty much here. And the last Profs game, they won 5-0. So Toriano almost made it another score there. But again, the Profs, they've scored 7 goals in a row, Jack, without letting one up. So that's a huge staggering mark as well.
Exactly. I mean, they've just been, whoa, and that's a big hold as his arm goes in his sleeve. But yeah, I mean, they've just been able to attack any team that they've played in the past 3 and 4 games now with as much offense and shots as they can. And now they're just making sure that on defense they don't give up anything. I mean, and they haven't given up a goal in the past 4 games. So the Profs are hot right now, and they can't be stopped at this point.
Toriano got a head on it. Ferrara swoops in. Take a look at their last couple of games. Rutgers Camden on Wednesday, October 12th, 4-0. I was back here. And then in Glassboro again, Saturday was a 0-0 tie against Ramapo. That was a very, very good game. A really strong second half for the Profs, but couldn't net anything through. Then TCNJ in Ewing, 5-0. So again, Profs riding hot. A chance, Chad Yates again into the goal.
Nothing
Garland
was called.
it looked like Garland got held there on the jersey. Him and Yates were pleading the case, but they're going to call offsides. But I thought it was pretty clear that Garland, there was definitely some contact there, but just a matter maybe if Yates or Garland was offside first. But either way, a chance that's wiped away once again for the Profs. But it has really been them, all the Profs, in these opening few minutes of the second half.
Yeah, they haven't given up a goal since their game against Montclair State in a 3-0 loss. And that was on October 8th. I mean, it's and it's now October 22nd. So they just haven't given up a goal, and they've just been hot defensively. So see what they can do.
McGuigan tried it. And now Garland will reset. Ferrara with a nice spin move there. And again,
Splits a double team.
dancing and prancing over there at midfield. He gets it right back. Yates to Toriano. Toriano dumps it off with the left. Caputo chases down. He gets pulled to the ground. And again, it looks like the Profs will have a good look here if it stands at the free kick.
This is just frustration kicking in for William Paterson. They're just down bad that they're losing, and it's 2-0 early in the second half. And they haven't been the greatest team all year, and they're just really frustrated with themselves, and they're just taking it out on the Profs right now.
Profs with 10 shots on the day so far, only 2 for the Pioneers. Gadalitza with the 1 shot and Oluwaku with the other. No card on the foul though. Free kick. Couple yards outside the box. Not straight away though, on the side for the Profs. And they'll send about everybody but 2 into the box. Clock also stopped.
Talking to the refs, interesting.
Looks like a 2-man wall there.
Here we go.
Ferrara sends it in on a line. The header. Toriano tries to flick it in, and it curves out to the left. Toriano, he kind of missiled it through there, Jack, but
He did.
He had a really, really good look, especially with some traffic in the box. Toriano had a prime look, but can't find the room. But Profs again will have a chance. Caputo to Toriano. Toriano had it taken away. So far, it really has been time of possession all for the Profs, with under 36 minutes to go. Martelloni. Yates. McGuigan into the corner. McGuigan looking for the cross, makes a nice move, now dumps it off. Yates fires and misses a couple feet to the right. Yates trying to again go for that hat trick here, Jack. Oh man, now the Profs are feeding the hot hand. You got to think that they're trying to feed it to him, to Toriano as well, those 2 up top. You've also seen Yates in that midfield region as well, but you got to think that he's really been the most productive up top, which we've seen him today. But this Profs team, they've got a lot of weapons, and Chad Yates is leading them down the way.
Yeah, Chad Yates has just been on fire, as you said. I mean, he's got 2 goals already, and he really was mad with himself that he did not get that goal right there, as that was, in his head, an easy goal to get off the cross or the pass from McGuigan. So we'll see what Yates can do to see if he can extend this lead or not, as it's William Paterson's on Rowan's side. So see what in the rest of this game, if they still feed the hot hand of Yates or if they can try and dump it off to other people.
Ola Loco had it throw in, and then it's headed out. It looks like a Prof was the last one to get a head on it. So it'll be a corner kick for the Pioneers. Alfredo Rojas gets ready to set it in. Rojas has 3 goals on the year along with 1 assist, 7 points on the season as he gets ready on the corner on the far side. Rojas. Short way towards the near side post, and Apatella will watch that one go out of play. So again, when the Pioneers team, they have the chances, Jack, they can't really make anything of them. They've had some decent looks here and there, but again, nothing seems to be going right for them, and they just have to be on the defense the entirety of the game, which they really have been, especially here in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it all game. They've just been hot defensively. Wow, they really called that a foul. He just jumped in the air and they called that a foul because he didn't land on his feet.
That's a tough break for the Profs.
Wow.
Diaz, the senior back, gets ready on the free kick now.
All the I saw it and all the fans saw it. I mean, he just jumped and didn't land. Like, can't call that a foul.
Diaz on a bounce. Friar's there. Yates battles. Yates leading the charge. Plays it through to Ferrara. Ferrara, Caputo. Caputo chases after it inside the box now. Caputo. Ferrara. Ferrara winds up, and it's deflected. Again, for the Profs, they're applying pressure here, but they still have a 2-0 lead to work with. Gartland. Beautiful pass. Caputo. And offside again. The Profs can't believe it. But now we see a lot more aggression. You got to think it's been a sigh of relief for this Profs team. When you're at the first half, only a minute left before they finally netted one through, and after that penalty kick right there, you don't want to say it's the icing on the cake, but with the way that the Profs offense has been, and with the way that the Pioneers, there really hasn't been a ton of offense for them, the Profs can kind of keep up this play, and who knows what the score could be at the end. Toriano, challenging Hatch there. But it seems like the Profs have really found this confidence, especially in the second half, and that's what they need down the stretch going into the tournament. Toriano gets a hit there in the back. He went flying.
This game's just gotten scrappy at this point. I mean, all the frustrations kicking in with the Profs and the refs and just William Paterson losing. So this has just become a really push and shove kind of game for both the Pioneers and the Profs.
11 fouls called on the Profs, 8 on the Pioneers, and no cards yet for either team. So
no.
refs kind of course, calling the fouls, but not giving out any cards just yet. This is going to be a free kick. Gil Ferreira and Alex Ferrara there. Ferrara takes it towards the back post. The header from Toriano bounces just outside the line. Garland tries to flick it through again. There's another shot. Props were rifling him off. Hatch makes another stop. You could hear that in the crowd and the anticipation there. A couple of really good looks in the box. A lot of traffic, a lot of bodies there in the box. Profs can't find it again, but still, of course, have a 2-goal lead. Their player
Another
goes
foul.
down, yep.
Man, just a lot scrappy soccer right here. I mean, it's the most scrappy soccer I've ever seen. I haven't watched I watched like a soccer game probably like once a month maybe, but yeah, like all the soccer games I've watched, this is definitely the most scrappy I've seen.
You got to think that Pioneers are trying to get some conference wins here, only have one so far, and they're struggling away. Like you said, they haven't won an opponent's field. They're 0-5-1. The Profs play pretty good here at home as well. They have 3 wins, 1 loss, and 2 ties, because Apatella handles that one with ease. So while the Profs are pretty good at home, Pioneers struggling in opponent's territory. And that's going to be a factor, especially if the Pioneers were trying to get into the conference and the tournament. You have to win, be able to win on both ends of the field, be able to win at home, of course, but also do pretty well away. But Pioneers are struggling here, and it's evident. It's pretty much right on cue, which is how their season has gone. 130 minutes now to go. Toriano flicks it, though. It's right to a Pioneer, but Yates settles it off the chest. Yates ahead to Caputo. Caputo got some pressure. A lot of black jerseys come swooping in for the takeaway. And Hatch with the big boot now. So now we do have 2 yellows. So it's 1 from Toriano and Armando Santana each have yellow cards for the Profs, but none for the William Paterson Pioneers. Caputo. Again. Ferrara. Outside the box. A line drive again, trying to feed it to Yates. Off the deflection, Gartland comes swooping in. And McGuigan will shield it off to Martelloni. Gil Ferreira. Now to Martelloni. And it's going to be a corner kick for the Profs once again. This is their first of the second half, 4th overall on the day. Only 1 corner kick, which has come opening minutes as the Profs play at the short round. Ball in, a couple of bounces to Martelloni. Gil Ferreira tries on the cross. And wait into the parking lot here in Rowan University. Again, like I talked about in the first half, Jack, you might need some soccer insurance. Definitely not the best
some
parking
glass
spots.
on the field, maybe.
Right. I would definitely not park my car anywhere too close to the soccer field or the softball field.
Yeah, Lot B is probably the best spot, as I think we're close to C or D parking wise. But
again, and there's a score off the corner kick. Johnny Toriano nets it through for the Profs. Toriano heating up as well. The rookie's got his 4th goal of the year to make it a 3-0 game in Glassboro.
Is this not a goal? Okay, so it's not a goal.
Looks like it will not.
Trying to figure out what
count.
happened, though. I'm not sure.
I think they might the only thing I can think of is offside unless there was a foul.
But the ball kept being in play, so that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because I'm like, I was confused because I'm like, usually they put the ball at the center of the field after a goal, but they just kept playing it.
Yeah.
So it's no goal. They're just going to keep playing it.
So no goal. Caputo, though, on the cross, but nobody's home. A couple of Profs swoop in, and now it's going to be a corner once again. So Profs have another chance here. I mean, that was a really, really good play. I think Gartland got a head on it, and Toriano was there to kind of clean it up. But it's got to be offside. That's the only thing we can really think of here. So it's going to be another corner. This is Alex Ferrara. He's going to send it in. Ferrara towards the near side post. A header again. Martelloni tried to sneak it through again. And again, Profs come up scoreless, but of course still having a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, a lot of pressure in the second half from the Profs. They're right now just fiending for 2 points in the NJAC conference right now, just to make sure that they can get above NJCU in the rankings and become the 5th seed. So they can't afford a draw right now, and they have to just keep applying pressure. If they keep having ball control, they're going to win this game since they're already up 2-0.
Gil Ferreira just went right down on the near side, and a couple more bodies hit the floor.
Ferreira's down.
Ola Loco, he went swarming into the official's face there. Did not think there was a call. Gil Ferreira taking some time to get up. So, like you said, Jack, both teams are scrappy. The Profs are keeping up the aggression because they have the lead. But it's got to be some frustration for the Pioneers now. We can't really find a hole. Their defense has been playing back throughout the entirety of this game. They've really had to play especially in the second half, it's been all Rowan, all Roman. The time of possession's been dominated by them. The defense really hasn't been tested. Only 3 shots
Mm-hmm.
for this Pioneers team. I mean, that's got to be just detrimental when you thought maybe the Pioneers had a sliver of momentum. You can't really get anything going, though. Here's a free kick on the opportunity. Ball loose. And it's finally going to be clear to see if the Profs can counter again. Gil Ferreira leading the charge. Ferreira across to Toriano. Great ball ahead. Toriano settles it. Toriano gets taken down inside the box. Toriano keeps it alive.
No call. Wow.
And the ref blew his whistle there, but they're going to call now. And Pioneers, I mean, again, you've seen them being aggressive, but the officials let him play. Toriano, mid-slide tackle. Toriano looking for the cross, just too far for Yates. Keeps it in play, though, on the far side. Yates spins, and it gets knocked out of play. I think last touch by Yates, so it'll be a throw-in for the Pioneers. And for this Pioneers team, Jack, you said, I mean, they haven't won a match since October 1st,
Yeah.
and they haven't put up more than 1 goal since September 24th.
Yeah,
And they can't have
almost a whole month.
It's pretty much a whole month, exactly, and they haven't even scored yet. So that's just got to be those are some downsides for this Pioneers team, but for the Props, you have to take advantage of that. For a team that does not score a lot, you really have to put the pedal to the metal and take advantage of that. You got to score, you got to capitalize, and just get those other players involved, especially as well. But you got to think that this Props team, they're trying to come in hot. They're trying to go to that move up in the tournament, and they probably won't have any games at home here in Glassboro. So playing again in front of their home crowd for maybe the final couple times in the year. So they want to have a good showing here. Of course, they have one more game against Stockton, which was originally away but got moved to home. So they'll be playing after the women's game on Wednesday coming up. 22:50 to go in this second half. It's a 2-0 lead for the Profs, completely controlling the pace of the second half. There's a touch again to Caputo. Caputo also, Jack, it looks like he's kind of itching for a goal there. This is Gale. Oh, excuse me, Barnes. Barnes with the right foot, and it gets taken away for a moment and back again settled by the Pioneers. There's Diaz. There's a chance for the Pioneers to get one back here. Olaloco, and there's a slide tackle. Olaloco keeps it in play. He gets taken down. Martelloni and McGuigan. And it's going to be a free kick again for the Pioneers. It seems like, Jack, the Pioneers have had the free kicks. They've had them, but they really can't get anything going.
Yeah, they just can't right now. I mean, Rowan's just had ball control the entire game, and when you have ball control, you have control of the entire game. So that is honestly the main reason why it's 2-0, and they just constantly been putting pressure on Hatch, the goalie. So William Paterson is just struggling to put up some shots on goal, and back-to-back games now where they've only put up 3 shots. So can't do anything right now offensively. That's hard to win when you don't have ball control or any pressure on the other team's goalie.
Abertella really hasn't been challenged as well. He's made 1 save. As again, a foul goal is not in favor of the Prof. So Diaz again. He'll dump it off, to Morera. Also in the game, Luke Yates, Ryan Barnes, as well as Armando Santana for the Profs. A couple of subs coming in moments ago. Morera towards the back posty header, and it goes out wide. Apertella was thought it was going towards the near side post, and it went out to our left, but Apertella's right there. We just had to watch it go out of play and hope that it went out of play there. A couple of props are down, but looks like everybody's going to be okay. But
looks like that's Gartland or
Cleary. I think it's
Cleary.
yeah.
I think it is.
They have the exact same build, like
And the height.
and the hair. Like,
Right.
just can't look. I can't see the number from the press box up here, but
Cleary
slow to get up, and he's
6'2".
good.
And Gartland also
6'5".
6'5". There we
Yeah.
go. 6'5" and 6'2". Very hard to, of course, tell the difference. But
Exactly. With the same exact haircut, same skin color.
and Gartland stepped out moments ago, but also played really well in the first half. Oh, Gartland's back in the game, I should say. Martelloni, though, has it. McGuigan had it taken away. Gartland there. No pressure. Now to Cleary. Yates at midfield. Cleary pushing forward, sends a nice ball to the far side. There's the cross. And Barnes is trying to come through sliding, and Hatch meets him there. So it'll be a goal kick. And a couple of props are coming off some really, really good game. Just taking a look at the TCNJ game, Jack. Gil Ferreira, he scored with a minute and 30 into the game. McGuigan followed that. McGuigan's also played some pretty good ball here in this game. Johnny Toriano got assisted, and Armando Santana, and then Chris Spicer. So 5 different goal scorers in that game. And then you come back, and you have Chad Yates in this game.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show how many weapons are on this team. Again, it's always not Chad Yates. Of course, he's getting it today with 2 goals. But it's been a lot of unselfish play in this game, which we've seen, especially in the first half. They were feeding it to each other. They were looking, patiently finding their stride. And again, when you have so many different players that can score from any different level, every different angle, it's hard for teams to defend that, especially down the stretch.
Exactly, and it just shows that Rowan men's soccer just knows how to produce good soccer players and recruit them as well. And it could be a sophomore, a freshman, or a senior that scores a goal in this game no matter what. I mean, tonight it's been Chad Yates' night on senior night, but I mean, in TCNJ's game, they had I think pretty much a guy in each grade level score in that game. So I mean, it just shows that the future for Rowan men's soccer is in good hands, and they can definitely be a good team in the NJAC conference.
15 different goal scorers on the year, and that's
Exactly.
something that I think a lot of teams are missing
Yes.
for those prop teams. I think it's about when the teams click at the right moment, and especially in the playoffs, what team can get hot at the right moment, and what team can find the right pieces to work together. Alex Ferreira dumps it off to Luke Yates. Yates tried to spin and dumps it off to Alex Ferreira. Ferreira splits a couple of defenders there, and now Martelloni, the lone man, back for the profs.
After yelling for it.
Here's McGuigan on the near side. McGuigan with the left foot. Plays it right to Santana. Santana spins, rifles it off. The ref's got to jump out of the way there. Now to Gartland. Gartland ships it on the right. Gartland again gets it right back. A foul gets called as the clock will stop. Now the officials are really not letting anything skate by here, Jack. It seems like every contact, every push, every foul, every shove is getting called as a foul, but
exactly. Any contact pretty much is now being called a foul. It's very scrappy play from both teams, but refs are just going to call anything that happens. So
Martelloni hesitates for a second. Tries to get a through ball to Yates. It's batted down again by the Pioneers. This is Rojas. Rojas gets it right back. And it's taken away by the profs.
here they come.
Yates feeds it off. Swooping in was Barnes in the last second. Kita. He's got to just wipe it out. There's nothing else you can do when you have somebody like Barnes coming at you, the freshman, coming in off the bench. He's had some good looks as well.
They will now have a throw for the profs. I mean, this is just honestly a really good reset for them right now to try and get put one more goal here on senior night for the profs.
Bounced in off the throw-in. Yates to Luke Yates. Hesitates for a second on the line near the near post, and Hatch is right there to meet it. Fi 15:45 to go. This last half of play. Pross trying to extend on a 3-0 lead. Excuse me, a 2-0 lead. Trying to make it 3. As Apatella, who really hasn't really at all in the second half been tested, Jackie. He's got to keep warm over there. He's got to make sure that he gets a little bit of a challenge there. But Apatella, as he's finding his groove and as he's finding his stride, you know, he wasn't the starting keeper for the Profs. He wasn't initially the guy that Scott Baker was leading on, but ever since he's been in goal, the Profs have just seemed to find success as well. So that's going to be a key factor. Apatella has just done a great job, and it's exactly what the Profs have asked him for, though, as there's a takeaway, and it goes right back to the Pioneers.
I mean, Apatella just hasn't been tested all game. I mean, he doesn't really have to do much. I mean, if there's no pressure, so
Exactly.
I mean, it's just a pretty slow game for him. I mean, he's probably cold out there, and on this cold night, he's probably not breaking a lot of sweats. So it's just an easy night for him. But unfortunately for him, it's pretty cold. He might get some frostbite out there.
Apatella, in his time, now in his 5th start, he's allowed 3 goals, 17 saves coming into the game as well. Again, the defense of the Profs holding strong. I don't want to put the jinx on it or anything, but when Apatella's in goal, Profs are 3-0-1. Profs are 3-0-1, and he also does have 3 shutouts. Could make it 4 here today as well,
Yeah,
but
potentially.
also do have some more subs coming in. Mark McStay back in the game. The Profs. Johnny Toriano back in. Alex Barra and Armando Santana will take a seat. And Johnny Gadaleta, another senior though, for the Pioneers, comes back in. A throw in for the Pioneers. Nikita, short way into the box, and McStay with the big boot.
Great
to
clear.
Clear it out. Here's some pressure from Toriano and Yates, so now they'll have to play it to Hatch. McStay. Barreto. Barreto, one of the typical starters for the Profs, but doesn't get the start here on senior day. Barreto, the sophomore. Now with around 13 minutes to go.
Now it's starting to, the game of soccer right now is starting to clean up a bit. There's not a lot of fouls as there used to be, and it's honestly just a much smoother game for both teams. I think it's just kind of the pace that both teams kind of want. I mean, not fouls. There's not a lot of whistle blows. The crowd doesn't get into it either, so Profs just trying to finish out the game pretty much.
Caputo comes back in for Chad Yates, so could be that his night is done, or might get a couple of moments of rest here, but does have 2 goals on the day. The 2 goals so far, obviously the difference maker in this game. Here's a counter opportunity for the Pioneers. They look to streak forward. And just a wall defense there from the Profs. Gartland, Martelloni's there, Barnes, McGuigan.
Everyone getting involved.
Breaking through a couple of defenders, just too much on it. Toriano not trying to get another offside call there.
Smart.
Now it'll be played back for the Pioneers, and Kita. Diaz. Yet again in the conference, this Profs team, they've got a lot of guys. Chad Yates, most notably, he sits at 5th in the conference. Coming up to this game, he sits at 4th in shots on goal. Gil Ferreira and Johnny Toriano are up there, 8 and 9 in shots on goal. And Right on cue, there's Toriano once again. Toriano with the left foot inside the box. Rifles a curving shot, doesn't curve enough to try to get it in as well. And for the Profs, I mean, they've got a lot of guys in the leaderboards. Chad Yates sits at third in assists with 5. We've got Luke Yates with 3 assists and hasn't played a ton, and he gets an assist today, so he moves to 4. Johnny Toriano's got 3 assists, so that's number 9 and 10 on that list as well. And Chad Yates does have 4 game-winning goals for the Profs, and he sits second in the conference.
They're just a good all-around team. I mean, anyone can become a playmaker on this club. I mean, they're just really good.
McStay had it for a second. Luke Yates keeps it in play. Yates rifles it off. It goes off of a prof there. McStay, that would have been a wide open look. Martelloni with 10 minutes and 10 seconds to go. On the far side. Again, a couple of slide tackles there. Nothing to show for it. Rojas tries to break through, but a swarm of profs are there to meet him. Luke Yates dancing on the far side. Makes a nice move now. Dumps it off. Barreto. High pass. Barnes doesn't meet it. McGuigan had it for a second. There's Toriano. McStay just bodied another William Paterson Pioneer and Gadaletta there. And the Profs also have faced some really, really good teams on the year. They started off the season way back in September, Jack. They played against Trinity, number ranked 13 at the time, and they tied them. Then they lost to Cortland, who was ranked number 17. They lost 3-1. And then Montclair State, who has really moved up the rankings, one of the top teams in the nation in D3 soccer. They lost 3-0 at the team that leads the NJAC as well. So they've played some really good opponents and have really kind of cleaned things up, especially towards the end of the tournament. But with the good play, you've got to meet that play and really overpower, though, teams like this. There's a touch to Martelloni from Caputo.
And you're exactly right. They're just taking advantage of the teams that aren't playing too well this year. I mean, that's all you got to do. I mean, it's what any team that is trying to get up in rankings has to do. They have to take care of the bad opponents that they go against. So that's what Rowan's trying to do here against the Pioneers, and they're winning 2-0 because of it. And they just have the Pioneers' number right now, and they have all the ball control and all the momentum in this game right now.
Alfredo Gonzalez comes out. Eric Gonzalez comes in for the Pioneers. Ryan Barnes takes the seat. Miguel Ferreira back into the game for Rowan. McGuigan, with under 8 minutes to go, McGuigan inching towards the box and tries to play it through there, but Hatch is there for the stop again. The Profs have played conference opponents from September 24th on. All right now has been conference games, and they played teams like John Hopkins, Southwestern, Trinity. All their opponents from September 1st to the 20th were not teams in their conference, and they were shaping up to exactly what they needed to do. And they got some key wins there as well. Out of those 9 unconference games, they did get 5 wins. So they were really good against teams who are not in the NJAC, and maybe I got to think for Scott Baker that shaped them up for exactly what they wanted to do here in conference play.
They're just taking advantage of any opponent that they play, and they're just trying to win as much games as they can. I mean, that's what you got to do. So they're taking advantage of the teams that, no matter what, if they're in the conference or not, if they're good or bad, to play at their best as they possibly can. And sometimes they'll get outplayed, or sometimes they will outplay the other team. So, and right now, that's what Rowan's doing. They're outplaying the Pioneers right now.
Sal Donian also in the game for Ian McGuigan just moments ago. Caputo now plays it to McStay. Martelloni Back to McStay. Right back to Martelloni. Playing give and go there. Caputo trying to beat a defender as he went flying to the ground. Diaz was there for the stop. Lopez. Morera rifles it down in a couple of hops for Cleary. Now with 5 minutes and 45 seconds to go, Profs definitely trying to ride this one out, keep it as much as they can in their offensive third, just keep it away, really, from the Pioneers. Don't let them have any more life in them, especially in the second half, which they really have not. Martelloni through ball, there's a touch. Gartland, Toriano settles, flicks it ahead. Caputo takes a hack. Hatch with a diving stop. Caputo is searching for a goal now here. Barreto tries it again. Hatch comes swooping in. Probably going to have a foul there on Gartland as he gives a little hug there to Hatch. Just wrong place, wrong time there. Gartland swoops in, Hatch swooping in. Nothing you really can do. Obviously not intentional there, but nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, and he gave him a hug afterwards. That's how you know it's not intentional. If it was intentional, he might have punched him or something. But yeah, so the Profs, they're just, now the fouls are coming in just because of just misplays right now and for both sides. And there's not a lot of push and shove with intent or frustration or whatnot. So 2-0 still for the Profs, and looks like that's most likely going to be your final score of this ball game, as we're just getting to the final minute here.
And for the Profs, Jack, though, they only have 2 conference wins. I think that's something that's kind of staggering as well. They're a team that is on the cusp of making to the tournament, sitting in that final spot right now, but they only have 2 conference wins. And one of them was Rutgers Camden, and the other one was TCNJ, which they both beat combined 9-0. So 4 goals against Rutgers Camden, which was here, and then 5-0 against TCNJ, as a free kick is headed down and sent out of play. But Jack, those are the only 2 conference wins they really have. They tied against Kane. That was a comeback. They were down 2-0, and Johnny Toriano scored 2 goals to even it up to get to 1 point there. They lost NJCU 6-0. They tied Rutgers Newark, lost to Montclair State, beat Rutgers Camden, tied with Ramapo, and then beat TCNJ. So just as we're rattling off the conference scoring there, the Profs, though, they did beat a really good team in Rutgers Camden. So that's, I think, something to note as well, because Rutgers Camden, they're 3rd in the conference, and for the Profs to beat them 4-0, they took away possibly maybe a chance for Rutgers Camden to sit at the 2nd spot. So the Profs can compete with the best of them, but it's just a matter of everything clicks right for them at the right time.
Exactly, and I mean, it's really clicking for them right now. They're getting hot at the right moment towards the end of the season, and they're just really just trying to get points in the NJAC conference to pull away here. So, and they're trying to climb the rankings to get something going.
Caputo with the shot! Bounces over Hatch, and he can't net it through once again.
Unfortunately.
Oh, Caputo. Didn't mean to cut you off there, Jack.
Yeah,
Caputo,
it happens.
I thought it was one-on-one with the keeper. I think that he was going to almost net it home. But, a lucky break for the Pioneers. Unfortunate for Caputo, who is really, really giving it all out there today. Caputo, he has had a great game. Only 2 shots, 1 shot on goal, but he's really kind of the pace of the game. He's controlled it, especially in that midfield region. He's a very unselfish player, and it was evident today. And Caputo is one of those guys who's always searching for the teammate to try to get them the benefit as well. Caputo, in his 13th start, he's got 1 goal to show for it as well. Nick Salazar, Escobar, and Chris Spicer also in the game for the Profs. Toriano and Gartland take a seat.
I think right now they're just trying to drain the clock at this point. That one's skied in there, but they're just trying to just drain the clock, get this game over with, move on to the next one.
Around 2 minutes to go, and I completely agree with you, Jack. Trying to ride out the clock, and Billy Paterson just trying to avoid with the shutout. They're trying to at least maybe sneak 1 through here and avoid being shut out again. Last time they were shut out was on October 12th. They put up one goal in their last 2 games coming into this one. 1 tie and 1 loss. But if all things stay the same with around a minute 30 to go, again, Pioneers team will continue to drop in the rankings. Caputo still hustling out there. Caputo breaks free. Here's Caputo with Hatch, 1-on-1, and Hatch is there with the big kick. He's got to come out of the box still, even with Caputo's challenging now, even with a minute 15 to go. Caputo's still giving it his all and really hustling out there, trying to make it 3-0.
Yeah, he's just trying to secure the bag at this point, make sure the game is in Rowan's hands. But even though it already is, so just under a minute left, and Rowan's gonna win this game. I mean, that's what it seems like, unless the defense just absolutely collapsed in this one.
Under a minute to go, around 40 seconds to be exact. And if, like you said, Jack, the Profs can just ride this one out. And again, the only conference win for this Pioneers team is against TCNJ. Foul gets called. TCNJ 2-6 in the conference. William Paterson 1-5-1. Tied the same team as the Profs did with Kane. Now with 10 seconds to go, Luke Yates will rifle it off. Ferreira, Martelloni, he'll try, and Hatch at the buzzer makes the stop. The Profs, even at the final second, were firing off shots. Martelloni, Hatch is there for another stop on the day, but at the final buzzer, it is a 2-0 win for the Profs here in Glassboro on Senior Day. What a way to honor your seniors with a huge victory, leading the way. Of course, the senior captain, who else but Chad Yates. Again, leading the team. He's got now 10 goals on the year as well. 1 assist goes to Luke Yates on the goal from Chad Yates, the original one, and then the penalty kick, which he just, of course, netted through for the Profs. And Jack, I mean, what were your biggest takeaways from this game, and how can the Profs once again use this momentum as the season winds down?
And the thing is they just had complete ball control throughout this entire game, and that's the reason why William Paterson only had 4 shots in this game. I mean, if you just have control of the ball, no matter what sport it is, you're just going to most likely win this ball game or win any ball game. So 19-4, that's your biggest takeaway right there. Rowan was able to have full control offensively and just keep peppering William Paterson's defense with as much shots as possible. But you got to give Hatch credit. He only gave up 2 goals in this game, one of them being a PK. So,
right.
I mean, that's pretty good for the veteran goalkeeper of Hatch for William Paterson.
Like you said, Jack, 19 shots. That's above their average, around 15 per game. So especially in that second half, they were really, really firing on all cylinders. And they're pretty on target as well. 9 shots on target, 2 yellow cards for the Profs, Toriano and Armando Santana each. And Dylan Apatella wasn't really too busy in the second half, especially. He made 1 save, only in 4 shots faced. That's a nod to the defense for the Profs as well, but for how staggering their offense really was. 19 shots on the day, 2 goals, and both of them by Chad Yates, who took 7 on the day. He led the Profs and still didn't play the final 10 minutes or so for the Profs, but still led it with 7 shots. Only 4 shots on the day for the William Paterson Pioneers as they continue to struggle in the conference and now move to 1-6-1 in the end. Jack, on overall 4 wins, 9 losses, and 2 ties on the season for the Pioneers. And Profs pick up a huge, huge victory here in the conference now, go above 500 in the conference, 3 wins, 2 losses, and 3 ties in the New Jersey Athletic Conference, and trying to again secure a spot in the playoffs. And they move to 8-5-4 on the year overall for their overall record. Also have 2 wins in a row, looking to make it 3 on their final home game against Stockton, which will be on Wednesday. But your final here from Glassboro, it's a 2-0 victory for the Profs. I've been Caraguno alongside Jack Miller, and Rowan gets it done on their senior day here in Glassboro, New Jersey. 2-0 win for the Profs. Thank you for tuning in here on Rowan Athletics, and have a great night, everyone.